On Monday evening, as a throwback as a part of my life that I walked away from, I sat at a table with some friends, the first night of Passover. And Stuart, who was an attorney I worked with for so many years, he's in his 40s, but he was the youngest child of that family. And as the youngest child of that family, he speaks to his parents and he asks them the question, why is this night different from all other nights, as the youngest child of every Jewish family must still do to this day when the celebration of Passover takes place? Well, that's not the question we ask tonight. This is not the Christian Passover. This is not what we celebrate this evening. But we do ask a question, and the question is this. What is love like? What does love do? Why is love different? The mood is quiet in here tonight, and it's dark outside as it should be, sort of a symbol of the interior darkness. Years beforehand, Jesus had been tempted in the desert. And the tempter had left him, and Luke says, for a more opportune time. Well, tonight is the opportune time. This is the time of the darkness. This is the time of shadow. This is the time of finality. This is the time of cross. Jesus begins the meal by saying, before anyone can ask him any questions, I've desired with all my heart to share this meal with you. I've often wondered what he was thinking at that meal. He knows that all things have been given to him, and this is now the hour of humiliation, the hour of glory. He might have been proud, he might have been fearful of what was coming, but whatever he felt, which we'll never know, whatever interiorly he experienced, this is a moment he turns into one of humility, because the Lord of all is going to wash their feet, because love is like that. He actually should have had a lot of contempt for humans. He might have said, I'm really finished with them. I'm glad the hour's finally come, because I'm really tired of human stupidity and frailty and sin and treachery and selfishness and misunderstanding. But he doesn't. He takes the role of a slave to give example and to be example, and to let us know that we can never stop loving even those who hurt us, because God never stops loving us. And that is what we witness to tonight. Aware he was going to be betrayed by one of his own, he is without bitterness. It is a night of disloyalty and dishonor. And yet he still will love, because love is like that. He's going to wash their feet. We are told the roads of Palestine were basically dirt roads. Now when you walk dirt roads with sandals, your feet get dirty. And no one except the lowest in your family would ever wash the feet of the guests. Okay? That's something you let the slave do if you're rich. Ladies, don't be angry. It's what you let the wife do if you're not rich. That was the culture. The head of the household and the head of the party does not demean himself by washing their feet. And apparently the roads weren't the only dirty, dusty things there, because apparently the brains of the disciples were just as dusty. Apparently, in the shadow of the cross and all of the seriousness that's going on around him, allegedly they are arguing over something or other. Prestige, precedence, where they're supposed to sit, who's more important, all the stupid things that human beings do. A disciple should wash the feet of the teacher. But now, they're too busy. They're competing amongst each other. Metaphorically, they're like power forwards under a basket fighting for position, trying to get into the right place. So he will do what they are not prepared to do. He will serve them. He will be humble. Because love is like that. What others will see as an admission of inferiority, Jesus gives us as an example. It is a mark of love, it is a mark of leadership, and it is a mark of grace. By falling onto his knees, he would wash their feet, and that symbolizes what will happen the next day. Because pouring out water, he may wash their feet, but by pouring out his life, he will wash our souls. And if you love someone, you will be with them, and you will endure with them, and you will teach them. You would die for them. You would even wash their feet. You want to be Christ's disciple, You want to take tonight seriously, a night that continues for the next 3 days? You can't be afraid to love, or to lead, or to serve. And if you really call him your Lord and teacher, and that is what he is, then we must do as he has done. We must take and eat, take and drink, take part in this covenant meal, which is a servant meal, taking a small portion of eternity into ourselves so that we can love and we can serve and we can be to the world what he has commanded us to be. Because ultimately he walks away giving us one commandment that summarizes the other 613. Love one another as much as he has loved us. And if you do that, and I do that, we have done it all. We've been given a new agreement, a new covenant. It is a cup, pledge of life that's going to be poured out. And it is bread that will be broken as surely as his body is going to be broken the next day. So be prepared to receive the gift of God's life. And then be prepared to live that life in service to the person sitting next to you or behind you or in your home or in the cubicle next to you at work or the teacher in front of you at school. Because that's what